everyone, welcome back to UK Dreamers. In today's video, we'll be talking not to a doctor but a nurse, a very special nurse, because most of you have been complaining that I don't make anything much about the nurses. So here we are. In this video, we'll be joined by the one, the only Dina, who is just not a nurse. She's too much. She's a full package. But yeah, I'll let Dina tell her about herself. Dina, welcome to the top. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Aman. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited, actually. I was looking for this interview. Hi, everyone. I'm Dina Paoloni. I'm an Italian nurse in UK. I've been a nurse since 2003, so 22 years nearly now in March 25. And I cover different roles. I built my career in Italy because I work in Italy 12 years. But then I moved in UK in 2015. And I already have 2 kids. So we moved with the entire family in UK, and I started build my career again. While doing this, I also help other nurses move abroad. So I started with a Facebook group, Italian nurses who want to move abroad on Facebook, and then my LinkedIn profile grew, and I started a YouTube channel, little one, and I become a career coach. I get certified as a career coach and I certify leadership. So now I'm a career coach for international nurses and I help nurses succeed abroad. Thank you very much.
No, you haven't told the complete story, Dina. You're gonna do something special next week. I would rather say disclose that a bit of surprise now.
Okay.
So, guys and girls, you heard from Dina, right? She's far more experienced in terms of the nursing and all. She herself trained abroad, so when she came to the UK, I would say she had the same challenges and the hurdles, and that's what led Dina to start her own coaching. And she's done wonders for so many international nurses that want to come to the UK. But recently, Dina has done something big. Yes, we both are in the NHS Clinical Entrepreneurs Program where we met. But Dina
Yes.
has also done so much in terms of her leadership qualities and stuff. And Dina is going to do something very, very special next week because Dina is going to launch her book, The Awakened Nurse. Tell us a bit more about that, Dina.
Thank you very much. So the book is actually taught to help nurses from just being a career coach, help specific nurses. I could really help all nurses all over the world. And I cannot replicate myself over time. And also, all my knowledge I've got, I think it's better to share with all people all over the world. So regardless if they're going to work with me or not, I want to educate nurses because as you said, the challenges of moving abroad, there are so many. And especially nurses who thinks about themselves as workers and not as a professional. They are often trapped in these scams or job that not really fulfilled them. So I thought, okay, I've got so many knowledge because I coach nurses to build their success abroad. Let me write a book. Let my knowledge be accessible to everyone, regardless if they're going to work with me or not. I want to educate nurses so they are more awake of what is internationally nursing landscape, how to avoid scam, and how to overcome the challenges of migration in general. Be more awake and more aware about themselves so they are able to also fulfill their career abroad. So this book basically is a summary of my coaching program, online program, and there's a little bit spicy here and there with some sharing of my life experience as an international nurse. So I wanted to do this book to share a little bit more about my knowledge. I do a lot of resources for free. I've got newsletter on LinkedIn and I share as much as I can. I've been a pioneer volunteer in the Italian Red Cross for 11 years. So I still doing my community service as a career coach instead of. But this book gives in-depth knowledge about success abroad as a nurse.
Oh, that's great. Heartiest congratulations, Dina, because it takes a
Thank you.
lot of hard work, time, energy, getting the time from, being a family person, raising your kids, coping up with the weather in UK and so many. I would say the list is actually endless, isn't it? All right. So Dina, tell us a bit more. When you transitioned into the UK, how did you find it? Because you were not a very recently passed nurse when you came to UK. You almost had about 10, 12 years experience when you moved in. How did that experience help you, or how was UK a different ball game altogether?
Yeah, it was a different game when I moved here. Being a European nurse was actually very useful to move to UK. But with my husband, we wanted to move in Australia actually at the very beginning. And we found quite hard to move in Australia from Italy. I am a nurse, my husband is an architect. Both of us need to be registered in the board, the council of regulation. So at that time with two kids was very difficult because we needed to go back to university, we needed to make our degrees, on the same start of Australia, pass exam, plus with family, the expenses were higher. So we realized that Australia was not for us. But while realizing that Australia was not for us, we understood that we needed to find a place that was right for us. So it's not just another place, wherever it was. We need to understand what was the best for us. And as a nurse in that period, we talk about 2014, I will receive so many job offers from UK, Ireland, Belgium, Germany, what else? So I received a lot of job offer. And so we said, okay, we have to sit down and understand which is the right country for us. And what is that moment that actually I kind of create the best country toolkit, which is one of my toolkit that I use to identify the right country. And so we realized that UK was the best place for us. Plus, being Italian, UK was still in the European community. So they recognized my degree and my husband's degrees. Let me talk about nurses now, no architects. We don't care about architects. Anyway, as a nurse, my degree was recognized. And at that time, I didn't even need to do the English language test. So for me, it was really to pass an interview and find a job and apply for an MT. So get everything done. And when we moved, I already been in UK several times, so I already knew the culture. I'll always be fascinated about the UK. So the transition was not that difficult. If not the difficulty of family with two young kids and parenting abroad, yes, that was a little bit difficult at the beginning. But consider now things were different. Yes, much easy for me as a European nurse.
Yeah. So essentially, I see lots of new nurses who are still coming to the UK. So initially, they would come. I've seen them grow in phases because when I came here as a A&E doctor, I mean, I knew nurses who are band 5 and they've gone to band 8, and plus. And I've seen the transition of their uniforms being from the sky blue, getting into a darker blue, and then going into even darker blue with stripes and whatnot. But I
Yeah.
think it's relatively, I wouldn't say straightforward, but the nurses who train in the UK, they still have an insight about how their career is going to progress. Unfortunately, I've seen that that's not the case with the international nurses. They just keep on struggling for day-to-day basic life things before they even think of a career progression. And it takes a very long time from them to transition even from a band 5 to a band 6 nurse. So, what are your thoughts, about the career progression for international nurses? It's not easier said than done, but like for the guys and the girls who are coming as nurses to the UK, what would be your, what to say, bullseye point for them? Say, You've landed in the UK. This is how you should do things.
Thank you for the question, because I think this question is perfect, amazing. It's what nurses feel when moving abroad. So the challenge is not just for UK, but okay, you're UK dreamer, so we talk about UK, but this challenge in every country. When you are educated in your country, you're not just educated about nursing, but you're educated also in the structure of healthcare you are formed in. So you know everything about how to move to do your career, and you already have a plan. But when you move abroad, the healthcare system is different, the scope of practice is different, and the career ladder is different, but you don't know until you move. So my strategy is actually learn about the scope of practice at the healthcare system on the other side before I actually move. And it's not just there, because you say, okay, I'm going to learn about the healthcare system and the career ladder, I will be fine. It's not just that, because culture matter. There is what we all know as a migration failure, which unfortunately, when you move in another country, you are not able to adapt properly, and you get depressed over and over. I mean, you start from a bad mood to our, experience anxiety, frustration, and this is amplified. So you risk of depression and what psychologists call migration failure, because at some point you decide or to leave and come back home, or go to another country, or you just, just start bad habits that ruin your life because you don't know how to escape. So for sure, you need to learn the scope of practice and also the career ladder, especially for nurses. Careers different country by country. So please look on the career ladder and how the hierarchy is actually created. Plus, you have to study about the culture norms, because the early you are able to integrate in the culture, the better you feel. So culture is so important, but also business culture. So the culture of your employer, because if you understand how the teams work, the dynamic of the team, the culture of the team, you're gonna be fine quickly. But if you don't think all these things and you just move abroad blind just because someone offer you a job, you can find yourself miserable quite quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah, like for instance, I've seen like in the UK, it's fairly every part of the globe you'll get the nurses or the doctors from, isn't it? And I think yes,
Yeah.
the nurses from few countries adapted better, while few would take a longer time. And it's just not about the patient experience; it's also about you carry your weight, isn't it? Because as you said rightly, there's so many things to get depressed about, nervous about, and make a mess of it. Okay, so Dina, so you might be getting these sort of queries as well, with the nurses that, oh, I'm stuck in my career, I'm just not going anywhere. What do you do then? Because like you took a big leap, you took big risks, you're still taking stuff and you're doing so many things. What would you encourage the nurses? Like, should they be also looking to do some sort of educational thing, some form of teaching or something, so that they can keep on pushing? Like, you got into research nursing, but I mean, for people that would still be a very, very distant dream. They don't even know how to start, where to start.
So first of all, what I encourage my fellow nurses or clients or people just read my newsletter is stop thinking about yourself as a worker. You are a healthcare professional. You have a degree, you have a master degree, some have PhD. So you're not a worker, you are a healthcare professional. So start thinking about job not as just a job, but as an opportunity to grow in your career. So it's so important to understand your needs as a person, as a professional. You also have to assess your current circumstances, your family, if you got kids, no kids, you have family at home that you have to send remittance, so money at all back to home, or you have someone to care about or property to care about. So you have to assess your current circumstances And then you understand your ultimate goal as a professional, and based on your ultimate goal, what you want to achieve if you didn't have any boundaries. What is your ultimate desire as a healthcare professional? Once you identify that, you basically understand which are the steps that you have to take in between. I always suggest first to identify how the career ladder work in your country or destination, in this case UK, and understand how the specialty actually you are in works in terms of career, because each specialty is different. For example, I've been a cardiothoracic nurse for a long time, and I have 6 years experience in Italy, and then in UK also I have 6 years experience in cardiothoracic ICU, and I've got postgraduate in ICU. The problem is I have to assess my current circumstances. For example, I've got a health condition, chronic condition, that stop me to continue my career in ICU. So I wanted always to do research, but my doctor say you cannot work in ICU anymore. So if you want to do research, you have to do research in another field. So I still doing research, and actually now I improve my career. I get further with my career because I the site coordinator of a big national project. So actually I have more opportunity than what I could have before in ICU. But I have to assess my circumstances based on my, based on my future ultimate goal. I say, okay, this is my current circumstance. Yes, I've got a postgraduate degree in ICU, but I cannot work in ICU anymore. So I have to assess myself and understand where to go further. So you want to do research? Okay, let's find a place. And also I have to reduce my hours. I couldn't be full-time anymore. I have to find a place that can guarantee me career progression in research, but also guarantee me less hours. So while working as a research part-time there, I was able to get certified as a career coach, get certified in leadership with Florence Nightingale Academy. So if you assess yourself and understand your current circumstances and your end goals, career goals, you can actually decide what is the next step. Not necessarily a certification or a master, or maybe yes, it depends what you really need.
Yeah, I mean, as a nurse, I would say you are at a more advantage than being a doctor in terms like you can switch your career interest depending on the opportunities that you get. Like for instance, I'm a medical doctor. Even there's a good thing in surgery, I can't go there. So we've got loads of restrictions, but that's what I've seen with the nurses. If you're a bit flexible with which specialty, you can still push yourself into and work a bit harder. You can always go and progress into it. So Dina, can you please tell the audience, like, if there are nurses, for instance, there are nurses who are come in an accident and emergency, right, because high volume and need, and once they've been here 6 months, 8 months, they feel that that's not the right thing for them. How can they look forward to change their stream, get into something else?
If they want to change, I suggest to change at the very beginning, because when nurses move abroad in UK, they start as a band 5. So they start at the very beginning. Even if you have experience, I'm sorry for you, it was happened to me too. We have to start as a new qualified nurse. So if you understand that where you are not happy, change as soon as you can, because change specialty could be easy for if you have a certain experience, but if you don't have certain experience, it may be difficult to change, because otherwise you have to start again from scratch, open again. So if you have experience in A&E or ICU, this could be kind of easy, because A&E and ICU give you, even theater give a lot of knowledge, so you can become more flexible in choosing another specialty from scratch. Words have different workflow and paces, so you should also understand you are more calm person, or you are a person that like more maybe the emergency fast track workflow. So if you have to go for a change, assess yourself first. Identify what are the things they are good at, what are the things you like to do, and what are the things that you actually don't like. So you can always go to our ward manager and say, look, I'm looking for a change. Can I come a couple of times, maybe a couple of hours, 3 hours, sometime, to understand what is the job here, what is the workflow is? Maybe I can think about this specialty. There's nothing wrong. And actually, UK, they are very open on this because they are looking so much for nurses that if you go to a manager, a matron or a team leader asking for, just come and have a look to the ward, they're very happy to allow you to do it because they need nurses. So if you show any kind of interest, they are happy because they say, okay, maybe this nurse gonna like it here and maybe she's going to apply here. So and also YouTube is very useful. There's so many resources already, daily life for an ICU nurse, daily life of a surgeon med nurse. So you can also take so many information from that.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said, if you are investing 37.5 hours a week in the hospital, and if you genuinely want to make a difference, yes, take some time off, go to, as you said, go to some other specialties, show some interest, and maybe you'll have another door opening for you. That's great.
Yeah, well, I had to add something. If maybe you love your trust in your organization where you work in, but if you have to do this, maybe do in another hospital, because sometimes, not all the time, because some hospital organizations are all very open, but sometimes hospitals are so tight with the number of their staff that they don't really like you to move from one ward to another. Yeah. So if you ask someone else, a manager for another ward to have a look, yeah, this is not good sign for your manager because they're going to report on say. So if you want to have a look to another specialty, even if you're going to still apply in your trust, go and have a look to another hospital. It's just a tips for you. Okay. Extra tips.
So, Dina, when you say about leadership things, what would you recommend to the nurses? Like, should they wait for a couple of years, then do some leadership programs, or should they get along with straight away?
Leadership is never too early to start leadership. I'm training some amazing nursing students in leadership. So first of all, you can read about all the self-help books that help you to increase your self-awareness, because leadership go hand in hand with self-awareness. The more you're self-aware, the more you are a good leader. First of all, identify your leader in your team and ask them to learn from them. Identify your sponsor that can help you in your leadership career. Again, leadership's never too early to go in leadership, but of course, the more experience you've got in your nursing practice and your clinical skill, the more you're able to lead someone else. Because you're okay. The Florence Nightingale Academy has a very nice program, which I've done, for internationally educated nurses and midwives. It's called International Educated Nurses and Midwife Leadership Academy. So you can go and check. It's free. There are also the leadership program available, and you can look for them. You can get in touch to me. I can also give you some names. But before we go for a certification or a program, you must get in touch with people and learn day by day how to do leadership.
Okay. Dina, just to coming to the wrapping things up, if the nurses, if for instance, any nurse who feels that they're stuck in their career, what are your tips for them?
They have to understand why they feel stuck. They understand what are the triggers that they don't make them happy. And identify that, they can actually assess themselves and understand how to do the next leap. Yeah. Leap of faith. Yeah.
And then contact you for further details.
Okay. Thank you.
So, guys and girls, I think Dina gave us a very good insight about life in the UK as an international nurse, how she has done this great, and she's kept her pushing and pushing. Like I've known Dina for almost 7, 8 months now, and she's absolutely wonderful human being in terms of pushing the nurses. So, guys and girls, her book is coming out next week. So, essentially, she's carrying that.
I don't have the physical book yet. I'm waiting. But yes, this is kind of the cover. This is just the prototype, but yes. The
So
book
yeah,
will
I'll
come
I'll
out.
share the link where you can go and have a look at this book online, and essentially, let's support Dina. Let's support the nurses because you guys are the first person to take care of the patients. If you work great, half of a job as doctors is sorted. But yeah, if not, we'll have a tough time. So I mean,
Yeah,
for better patient experience, for the NHS, for everything, man. I think we all need to, unite and buckle up our shoes and just proceed ahead so that we can save the NHS, isn't it?
that's true. That's so true. Yeah, collaboration is the only way, from my point of view.
Absolutely. So, guys and girls, please go ahead and have a look at this. Dina, thank you so much for giving your valuable time to the nurses. I leave the description about Dina's website, so you can go and reach her if you feel stuck with your career progression in the UK. And yeah, we'll try to post more videos about the nurses on my channel if I can. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. Take care. See you in the next video. Thanks, Tina. Take care. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Thank you.